يا عباد الله هبوا ونداء الحق لبوا فاعبدوه مخلصين.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, our dear viewers. Welcome back to your program, Stories of Devotion, a program in which we speak to some of the life devotees and missionaries of this noble community, MTA Africa Uganda. In this time and point, once again, we have invited Hajj Muhammad Ali Kaire, who is the Amir and missionary in charge, MTA Ahmadi Uganda. And today we shall again like to know more about his life and whatever that happened in his lifetime as a missionary and as a life devotee of Jamaat Ahmadiyya. Amir Sahib, you're welcome to Stories of Devotion.
Thank you very much.
Yes. In the last episode, I remember you did tell us that Jamaat Ahmadiyya went through hard times during the regime of Eid Amin Dada and the following regimes. And you did mention that there was seizure of Jamaat property, including mosques and so many other Jamaat property. And by the immense grace of Allah, you were able to recover those lost or seized properties. So our viewers would like again to know that during those hard times, how were you able to cover up the area of Tarbiyat and Tabligh?
Thank you very much. Viewers, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As you know, Tarbiyat is the most important part of Jamaat activities. Tabligh, that is inviting people to come and join. And you explain a few points. When somebody gets convinced, he accepts, and the Tabligh for him ends. But then Tarbiyat continues until he enters his grave. What is Tarbiyat? Tarbiyat is to ensure that one who has joined the Jamaat lives by the expectations of the teachings of the Holy Quran, to follow the practical examples of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, to understand the purpose of the coming of the promised Messiah ﷺ, and to be a living example of Islam. Now, this in other way, it is also a jihad. And when we read the Holy Quran, we are told that the greatest of jihad, jahidu bi amwalikum wa anfusikum, to struggle with your wealth and your own personality. Struggling against yourself is to get rid of all the evils, misbehaviors and misconducts in your life. Now, the murabbis or the missionaries help a person to reach that level of being not only a Muslim, but a believer and a muttaqi and above. So it's not an easy task. Although with the arrangement of Jamaat Ahmadiyya, we have books concerning every field of spiritual development and achievement. A missionary should be learned enough, because you would be surprised that when somebody is qualified and is declared a missionary, you see he becomes almost everything. The elderly consult him in matters concerning their elderly way of life. Even if he is not married, you find the married couples consult him. The agriculturist farmers would consider him knowledgeable in matters pertaining to agriculture. The businessmen also come and consult him, whereas he is not a businessman. So a missionary should be a living encyclopedia of knowledge, that he can, in one way or the other, advise these people accordingly. And this creates a tight bond between a member of the Jamaat and the missionary. So at that time, besides daily classes, on tour, I used to visit home to home. Even those who were down in their farms, I used to walk, go there, participate with them in their digging, and advise them accordingly. Some of the members were doing some businesses. I could go to their shops, to get their small stalls, talk to them, and many of them I taught them how to keep books, how they should know what is capital and what is the benefit they have got from using that capital, and what to do with the result of their effort. Those who were involved, say, in other professions, I used also to go to them. Those who were teachers, I used to go to their schools and establish that contact with them. That contact alone helps the members to change their ways and bring within themselves that required change, that required evolution, to be actually aware of what they are supposed to do and how to do it. So the exercise of tarbiyat is a lifelong exercise. Those who are involved in teaching, that is a lifelong occupation. And those who have to be given tarbiyat also have expect from time to time to learn new things. And this is a continuous struggle which will never end. We leave it, we go to meet our Lord, and the new ones come and start from where we left. You see, this is how it is being done.
How about tabligh?
Tabligh in those days, I don't feel ashamed to tell you that the Nane Ahmadi Muslims had painted such a gloomy picture of Ahmadis, so much so that in the beginning when we used to go out to preach, many could even spit on us.
Wow. They don't want to hear anything from Ahmadi.
They would tell stories about Jamaat Ahmadiyya unheard of. Some would say that to become an Ahmadi, immediately you sign bayat, you grow a tail, you look like a monkey. Others would say that to certify you as an Ahmadi when you sign bayat, they brand you with a certain number on your back, to put a stamp. Things like that. So going out to preach, you would find some people so hostile, they don't want to listen to you. But nevertheless, you see, we used to go and preach. We used to take advantage of functions organized. You know, we have some ordinary functions which would attract everybody, say marriage function. We would organize a member who did not actually get his wife in a normal way. We say he should make a proper nikah. Now, when you make a nikah, everybody, Tom, Dick, and Harry, will come, whether they are hostile to the Jamaat. So, having a multitude of people before us, we used to preach. And on burial ceremonies, you see, you find everybody coming to attend. We used to take advantage of those. We used also to organize classes, functions, like tablighs. We call our people, they come, we brief them, everyone go to your village, make sure you come with one Nane Ahmadi member. And they used to bring their members, their friends, used to preach to them. And many of them did accept. That's how we used to go about with tabligh. In those days, we did not have access to the radio. If any, there was only one radio, Uganda. And which not also used to operate 24 hours. No, it was operating very few hours. And to get a program on it, it was very difficult. They did not have that time. The TV also was the Uganda television, which used to operate very briefly, and by 12 o'clock used to close down. You see, it was not like today when you have TVs running 24 hours, 7 days a day, a week. You see, it was not like that. Newspapers also were very rare. We had the Uganda Argus and some other newspapers like I can remember some Luganda newspapers. I have forgotten the name. You see, and those also were very few pages. You see, very limited. You see, so we used to find such ways of approaching people. Sometimes gathering at functions, if any functions of non-Ahmadis, we used to go. We used to go talk to the people, and those people were friendly, and they will give you some 10, 15 minutes. And when you talk, you make sure you attract the attention of the people. And after 15 minutes, you will hijack the whole function. They will be bombarding you with so many questions. And that master of ceremony had no option but to leave you to answer. You end up getting 1 hour, 2 hours. A function which was not yours, but you have captured it. You see, these are the tricks we used to pass through to actually deliver our messages. In some instances, we used to find some hostile people ready to fight us, ready to beat us.
Actually, I was reaching a point to ask you something. As a young man by then, a missionary, actually a top class missionary, you might have faced so many challenges, and this is in each and every life of a missionary. There are some challenges. They go through valleys, mountains, and hills. What are some of the challenges that you faced as a missionary, as an individual?
As a younger man in those days, I did not have much challenges except that I used to feel that I was alone. I did not have much support from fellow younger men. My greatest support was my wife. And this is the advice I give to every missionary. Like how the saying goes, behind a stronger man, there is a stronger woman. Every missionary must, I repeat, must have a missionary-minded woman, a missionary-minded wife, and also try to educate that wife. I was so lucky that my wife was interested in my missionary work. Whenever I used to go and preach, I used to come back, she used to ask me questions. What has happened? Sometimes you come, you are not happy. She would sense that met some challenges. She would comfort me and ask me what took place. I narrate the whole story to her. She gives some advices. The other challenge I used to find, in those days the Jamaat was not well to do. I could ride a bicycle from Jinja to Kamri. And at times the bicycle was not readily available. I could walk from say, our Jamaat in Kamri, from Kamri there, that's Kasambira, and walk on foot all those areas. Then come back, try to board a vehicle. At times those vehicles were not there, and you could sleep in the mosque. In many times, I used to feel stranded. I could sleep in the mosque. And next day, I move on. These are the challenges I met. My life, I was not used to modern day entertainment activities like watching films or going to attend dances. Throughout my life, I was never given to that. Being that my father was a mu'alim, right from the childhood level, I was made to believe that a Muslim should not participate in such activities. So there was nothing I was losing. My attention was solely on my job and the challenges I was meeting. At times you would find that you come back home and the people at home do not have food to eat, but miraculously, from time to time, God used to come to my rescue and provide sufficient supplies to my people without much effort.
MashaAllah. Now, if you look at this, some of the challenges, these are the common challenges that actually every missionary faces or every servant of the Lord faces. Did you ever think of changing your mind or giving up this missionary work and attend to the world? Since you had friends who were successful by then. Some of them were rich, and you in this missionary field, you were facing so many challenges.
Missionary work is so sweet, it's so interesting, it's so exciting, challenging. So much so that once you get involved in it, you cannot think of leaving missionary work, especially Jamaat Ahmadiyya missionary work. Because in Jamaat Ahmadiyya, a missionary does not look at missionary work as a source of income. But he takes upon himself as a personal challenge. As I told you earlier, a missionary moves with ideas and solutions to problems. And these problems are many among the members. So you always feel challenged. This man wants this help. This lady is asking this question. This younger man has this problem. So you get always involved in such an activity. You don't even wish for the day to become night. You see? And the moment the adhan is called for Fajr, you get out. You don't feel like going home again. Because so many problems are coming and you have the solutions. People place their trust in you. When you become a missionary, people totally forget your age. They expect you to solve all their problems. You will never find such trust in other profession. You will never find such enjoyment, such excitement in any other profession. So I never even once dreamt of once not being a missionary. You would find challenges, but not to leave missionary work.
You can imagine how sweet the servants of the Lord feel serving their Lord. And indeed, it is sweet to be a servant of the Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A lot might have happened, Amir Sahib, but with limits imposed by a time factor. Can you briefly tell us on one or two instances where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been there for you, how the Almighty Allah has supported you?
I think every day I get support from Allah. All my life. When you say 41 years of service, a day I may get several support from God all the time. But for the purpose of informing the members, I will give two of such support. Once when I was a missionary, I was in Jinja. And I believe that was between 1982 and 83. I had received a challenge from some Sunni scholars in Mugembe. They wanted to debate with me. Early in the morning, I was packing my briefcase, putting my scholarly material, about to get out. My wife told me I want to go and visit my parents. I had some money. I gave her that money, and she said it was not sufficient. It wasn't enough. I couldn't give her more. But at the same time, I had to go and meet those who had actually challenged me. I had to debate with them. That was an opportunity. They had gathered so many people, and I was looking at that opportunity of talking to the people, not necessarily debating with them, delivering the message. So I told her that this is what I can raise. She said, okay, we shall find a way out. She was very encouraging. As I was coming out, I had somebody knocking at the front door. I was coming out from the behind gate. Then I went to the front door, and I found there one old man. He was a member of the Jamaat. His name is Burhan Kanyare. He's still living by the grace of Allah. He said to me, I want to talk to you. I said, okay, I'm going out to do some work. Can you talk to me now? He said, no, I want you to go inside. I want to talk to you in your house. So I went back. I opened the door. He came in. He told me, close the door. I closed the door. He told me, I have sold a piece of my land. And I want to give you a gift of some money. He took out of his pocket an amount which was 50 times more than my allowance. And he gave it to me. Immediately he stood up and went out and told me that lock the door. I locked the door. I took that fagot of money and put in front of my wife and told her, you take what you feel is enough. The rest you put where you know where we put our money. And I went out to the bed. So this is help of God. As soon as I needed, God gave me. The other incident I would like to mention is when I became an Amir. You know, during the Jalsa days, there is a lot of expenditure. At times you find that you are almost sweeping your account. Then after Jalsa, you see, you find challenges. It is time for the missionaries to get their allowances, and the account is more or less empty. You see, I was so surprised. I was so perturbed. I prayed to my Lord. In my tahajjud, I mentioned this. Oh Lord, you are Lord of everything. You are the owner of every particle of whatever is the existence. All the money in the world is yours. Give me money so that I pay your missionaries their allowances. I could not write a letter to the Markaz because it would take time. You know, it could take time for the letter to go, for the approval, and even to send some help. So I needed help within a day or two.
And you referred the case to Allah.
After Fajr prayers, around 9 o'clock, I received a phone call from some person. He said, I want to see you. I said, okay, can you talk on phone? I said, no. I want to come there. Are you there? Because they know I'm always touring the Jamaat. So that member was too happy to see that I was at the headquarters on that day. I said, okay, come in. Within 15-30 minutes, he arrived. He said, I want to see you in the office. I did not know what he was going to say. You know, maybe some domestic problem, maybe some advice here and there. Okay, I went inside. When he sat, he took out $15,000 and gave to me. And immediately he left. I thanked my Lord. Immediately I called my secretary, and the missionaries were given the allowance. There and then. Several of such incidents I can't mention. It would take me almost a complete day to mention.
Indeed. Yeah. It is really very true that whenever there is a challenge in your life, and mainly to the life devotees and every member of this noble community, refer your case to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You also witnessed the humble starting of MTA, and that's very great. Up to now, what role has MTA played in your life and the communities that you have served?
Great role. In the past, as you know, it was very difficult to get communication with Huzur, with the Khalifa. And you know, Khalifa is the heart of the Jamaat, is the life of the Jamaat. Constant contact with the Khalifa is just like receiving sunshine from the sun. It gives life. But in those days, it was very difficult before the introduction of the MTA. That mayor writing from Huzur, you would be moving from Jamaat to Jamaat, telling the members, I have received a communique from Huzur. You see? And from Huzur, we do not only need the writings. We need to see him personally, physically. Not only that, we need to hear his voice. His voice is vital, is life to the members. It goes a long way in improving the moral and spiritual status of the members. Now, with the introduction of MTA, by the grace of Allah, even in khutbahs, we are no more cracking our brains to write a khutbah. You just reflect that khutbah of Huzur to the people. And the people will be listening directly from his mouth. They will be seeing him. Even the children know how Huzur looks like. What Huzur always does. Those who can't reach him still can see him, how he smiles, how he talks, how he walks. Even children will be mentioning this, which means 90% of our tarbiyat is done by huzur through the MTA. So you just can't imagine how easy for the murabbis, wherever they are, to do their tarbiyat work in this age of MTA. So MTA is actually a great service. And it also fulfills one prophecy of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, which says that Messiah will descend from heaven. And there has been a lot of argument about that. And we have been saying the Messiah was born as an ordinary person, just like how other prophets are born. A long, long argument. God has actually simplified it with MTA satellite. Really, the people see Huzur descending from heaven. And that's Messiah has come from heaven. You see, it is fulfilled. So either way, whether he's born or comes from heaven, he's there. Just switch on your MTA and you will see on Friday, on any other function, Huzur's picture coming from heaven, from the skies, from the satellite. You see, so it is a great support to Jamaat activities.
So MTA has really done so well in matters related to Tarbiyat, and it has also brought us very closer to our Khalifa. Even those who can't afford traveling to the United Kingdom, they can see him every day, and at every moment they would love to see him. They just switch on the MTA channel and watch the Khalifa. Amir Sahib, we're running out of time. But there is this thing that I cannot leave out. Again, it's related to our connection with the Khalifa. So, by the example of your own life, how has the connection with the Khilafat been essential in your life?
A Khalifa is the life of a Jamaat. Is the son of a Jamaat. Once you lose that attachment with the Khalifa, it is just like a planet that has lost touch with the sun. Definitely disappears. So attachment with the Khalifa has helped in so many ways. And I believe all experienced missionaries have gone through this. That at times you have an idea. You want to implement that idea. You may try your level best. And you fail. Why? Because that is not the idea of one who is commissioned. By Allah. You go and check on instructions of Huzur. If it is there, pick on it. If it is not there, you may even write a letter and ask about that issue. And you will get a reply from one who is commissioned to do that with guidelines. So instead of cracking our brains, just follow what the Khalifa says. At times you get instructions, you don't understand it. Just implement as you have been instructed. You will see automatic results. That's the attachment. And the best way of retaining this attachment, first of all, is daily in every prayer to pray for Huzur. Because the life of the Jamaat. Secondly, keep communication. Write to him. Not only you, but encourage all the members. Also try. That's how you can maintain this attachment. MTA is also one part. Listen to Huzur's khutbah. Listen to Huzur's addresses on several occasions. You remain in touch with Huzur. And everything will be okay.
Yeah, so close to be. Mr. As we conclude, do you regret being a missionary?
I never in my life regretted to be a missionary. You see, missionary work is exciting, challenging. And the other one I will mention in the end. It is exciting in that you are always required to solve problems.
For everyone.
For everybody. To see those who do not know anything about religion to develop spiritually and also develop morally. So excitingly. They expect you to solve those problems they have in their minds. It is so challenging because you don't wish to sleep. A missionary's brain is always full of ideas 24 hours, 7 days a week. And you want always to implement these ideas. You will never find a profession like that.
Not really.
You see, when you look at many other people, they have their head full of problems. A missionary's head is full of solutions to those problems. Would you like to be a follower or a leader? A missionary is always a leader. Is always referred towards the last chapter. You see, that's the interesting life. The last one I have to mention is also an easy life. Missionary life is very easy. You find even those who reach retirement age, still they continue to serve. Even those who have some physical problems, still continue to serve whatever little they can do. Only I have some advice through my experience, which I can give to missionaries.
Yes, before that advice, there is a quotation that I've loved actually from you, that on the mind of a layman who is not a missionary, they always have problems, but no solutions.
Yes.
And then a missionary always has the solutions to the problems.
Yes.
Yes. Again, actually, lastly, your advice to the missionaries in this regard.
I have several advices I can give the missionaries. Time will not allow that. But a few may prove to be very beneficial. First and foremost, a missionary must have a missionary-minded woman, a missionary-minded wife. Look at it right from the time of Hazrat Ibrahim with Hazrat Khadija radiallahu anha. Look at it from the time of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam with Hazrat Khadija radiallahu anha. Look at it from the time of the Promised Messiah sallam, with Hazrat Nusrat Jahan radiallahu anha. You see, a strong man must have a strong woman behind him. Secondly, the time a missionary gives to the elderly in tarbiyat and training is the same time he should give to the younger ones. Many have neglected this fact that they spend more time with the elderly and they neglect the children. When these children outgrow the childish excitement of going to jalasa, eating rice, when they do not have answers to the questions non-members ask them, they leave the Jamaat. And Uganda Jamaat has lost much because of that attitude, that the attention is given to the elderly, but the younger ones simply are considered as ordinary. In the end, they grow up, they are supposed to be the new members of the Jamaat, and they know nothing. So they opt out. Thirdly, a missionary must live what he teaches others. He should be a living example. Even here about the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what made him so great? Because he was uswatun hasana, an example to others, and they copied from him. So without doing much, so long as you live what you tell to the people, when you talk of prayer, be sincere and be active in your prayers. Chanda paying, tawakkalu ala Allah, all these, you should live that. And you will be successful. Thirdly, rely much on your prayers. Whatever you have to do, never attempt to do anything before praying. Even if you are writing a letter, you must start with the prayers. Not forgetting tahajjud prayer. It should be a nightly exercise. Every night, every missionary must offer tahajjud prayer. The Muslim Maud radiallahu anhu says 100%. But if you are so weak, at least it should be 99%. Finally, a missionary must be obedient. And the focus of obedience is khilafat. Whatever instruction is given, do not first of all compute what it means. Just aim at fulfilling it. Whatever guidelines, whatever instructions, try your best to fulfill that. With those 5 advices, I believe a missionary has no any other way but to be a very successful personality in life.
MashaAllah. That's very wonderful. We wish we would have you for even an hour, but due to the limited time, I would like to end here. That has been a very wonderful moment with Hajj Muhammad Ali Kaire, the American missionary in charge, MTA Ahmadi Uganda. He has told us a lot, and I think if we follow them, we will be very successful members and very successful missionaries. I wish you well, and I remain Nasir Ahmad Sonko. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
يا عباد الله هبوا ونداء الحق لبوا فاعبدوه مخلصين